heightened state of indecision. There's a quote that just keeps repeating over and over again in my head. And at this moment, it seems really relevant.
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Well, for me, animation has been that dream. I love 2D animation ever since I was a kid. It's what drew me to art and storytelling in the first place, and even though I went in a different direction educationally, I could never truly push it aside. After all, I grew up during the Disney Renaissance, the golden age of Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, not to mention peak Ghibli and Don Bluth animations, just to name a few. All of it was completely awe-inspiring. I truly wish that we as creators could get back to just a fraction of their wonder, storytelling, and artistry that us millennials experienced back then. But here comes the rub. I put 2D animation up on a really high pedestal, and even though I studied it and read the required literature, it always seemed so complex in its construction that I, a mere illustrator, felt completely unqualified to ever touch or hope to work in. So I decided to pursue what I thought was the next best thing: comics and graphic novels. I mean, what else is a comic but a kind of storyboard? Here's the thing though. Right at this moment, I have an opportunity to do animation. I might not be able to hire voice actors yet, but I have the technical understanding, illustration skills, and scripts necessary to do it. So then, what's holding me back? I'm still not sure if I'm going to make this specific project into an animation or not. I'll let you know when I work on the storyboards for this project. What I can say right at this point, with 100% certainty, is that I will be approaching this comic book project as if I were going to do an animated project. What could it hurt in the end? It will only make my drawings better and make my stories more fleshed out. So how did I approach the turnaround process? Well, I've actually done plenty of 2D non-animated turnarounds using a similar format. My workaround back then was to turn layers on and off instead of flipping pages, and I even used low opacity as a manual onion skin before I finally switched over to doing things traditionally. There was a little bit of a learning curve when using the Clip Studio X timeline, but there are so many YouTube tutorials out there that it was a lot easier than I thought to get a working understanding of the program's tools. At first, I was thinking about using a top-down turnaround model for doing the turnarounds, and you can see that I tried utilizing some of those top-down guides, and though it did help at certain points with things like the placement of the feet or arms, it ended up confusing me more than helping me. So I decided to go for more of an old-school approach using comparative measurements and guide height lines, and just felt it out as I went along. This initial phase was hard. As I was working, I got so engrossed at times, checking things out, looking at references, watching videos, figuring out how in the world to use Clip Studio's animation program, that I even forgot to press record at times, so you're probably missing about a half an hour to an hour of additional work. To be honest, a lot of this was guesswork on my part, and I chose what ended up feeling right to my own eyes. From start to finish for this initial stage, I made sure to start off each turn very loosely, only worrying about the major shapes at first. And then, with each turn, I made sure to check all of the major parts of the body by flipping the sheets back and forth, like you would in real life. When I completed one part of the body, I would then roll the images in a loop, and then scan each part, starting at the head and working my way down. I also decided to animate this on 3s, which means that each frame or image is held for 3 seconds each. It seemed the smoothest to me, so that's why I decided on it. I did try messing around a bit with some slow ins and outs, but I didn't like it. After all, these are practical pieces and are meant to be used as reference, nothing more, nothing less. When I finally got the rough done, I can't tell you the rush of accomplishment that I felt, and it made all of the struggle worth it. The feeling was so different than what I've ever felt when completing any of my stationary pieces. I rewatched that GIF over and over and over again, and yes, I patted myself on the back just a bit. For this stage, I wanted to keep the line work looking and feeling like something drawn on paper. hence why I decided to use a pencil outline instead of a thin, even ink line. I did have to double my pencil lines though in order to make them stand out against the background. I have heard some say that when inking your character, you should have it on a vector layer, but I found out that you don't necessarily have to do that. I did mine on a raster layer because I was going to need to fill in items like the eyebrows and eyes, and I didn't want them to be in their own separate layer or with the overall color layer. My goal was to have as few layers as possible going forward. This was one of the trickiest parts of the overall process. At first, I wanted the piece to feel like my visual development illustration, with textured hair, shadows, and a watercolor texture. So that's what I went with to start. I exaggerated my watercolor and pencil textures in the hopes of making it feel more authentic. Each part of the drawing had its own layer, the top foremost layer with the pencil layer, the bottom layer was the fill layer that contained the same tone as the background paper layer. I then used clipping layers above that one for color, texture, and shadow. And in the end, I ended up with something that did feel traditional, but because of the line boil effect, I felt that everything was competing for attention instead of the character itself. Fixing these issues threw me for a loop. I wasn't really sure how to fix it. I needed time off camera for this part, so it's not going to be in the video. But no, the process was pretty much the same. It was a lot of trial and error. These were the things that I ended up changing. Outlining for the character would stay in pencil, but I would be using a raster layer instead of a vector layer. And I would be doubling the layer to make the pencil lines stand out more against the background. I would keep the shadow layer, but my goal was to make it less noisy. To do this, I made a square selection around the character and filled it in using a brush effect. I used Kyle's Drawing Box Hatch Soft Mixer from his Mega Pack. Then I added a layer mask and refined it by painting it in white and black for each new layer. This ended up taking a lot of that boiling effect away from the shadows. I decided to remove the texture from the hair, and then I bucket filled the colors on their own layer, drawing inspiration from the Lynn Claire style to transition from a textured approach to a static one. Doing this removed the second boiling effect from the character, calming the image down and making it more visually pleasant, in my opinion. You can see the gifs and everything on my Substack article that's connected to this video. I've only done one finished GIF animation before doing this one, but that was a few years ago. So this being the second animated piece that I've ever done, I think all in all it came out fantastic. I love that it feels handmade and traditional. I still have a long way to go to get even better at animation, especially if I plan on making this one into an animated project. But I have a lot of hope and plans on how to achieve that going forward. In the next post, I will be getting to know Jasper a little bit better by working on pose sheets in his environment and working on some of his potential expressions. Until then, I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. God bless, and I'll see you all in the next video.